So she's gonna. Hi, y'all. Welcome to the Spiritual Speakeasy, where the bar's always open and the spirits are always served. And I have an echo. Echo. I'm going to turn that down. Tonight's special guest is Mary Jo Chudley. She is an amazing woman, part of Penn State Paranormal. She is also Twisted Dolls, does an amazing thing with dolls. And I had the pleasure of meeting her at Gettysburg Paracon, and somebody bought the doll that I wanted. And I was so sad. Here is my amazing friend, Mary Jo. I'm going to bring her to the stage so she can tell us all about herself and we can start our conversation. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Mary Jo.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. We had some technical difficulties there, but
Yeah, all the time, right?
yeah, it's like I was ready, I was on, and then it all shut down. Is there an echo on your end?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. So tell us more about yourself.
So I'm just an investigator. Been doing it for a while. Seems like as long as I can remember. But yes, I do the paranormal on the side. I make creepy dolls for people. I'm like, to me that's kind of I guess a stress reliever for the stuff that we do. And I also work in the medical field during the day. So between being with those patients and again, just working with the public, I come home and, design dolls. You kind of get that stress out a little bit.
So I have to ask, what do you do in the medical profession?
So I used to, a while ago, I used to work in a hospital. I worked in cancer hospitals. I worked in dementia units, was an EMT for a little bit, couldn't do that. So now I work with eyes. So it's kind of like, I told my husband I can't do death anymore, which is weird because we were in the paranormal, but I don't deal with death very well. Like watching it and the family members,
Hmm.
it takes me a while to come back from it, I guess you would say. So I figured the eyes have nothing to do with death. So I've been doing the eyes in ophthalmology for over like 10 years. So that's where I've been at for that long. So
That's
I do like
awesome.
it.
That's awesome. Well, the eyes are the windows of the soul. So when you're working with the paranormal and your dolls, you're putting that human soul aspect into it.
I always tell people because I went to art school like early on, but I knew there was really no money in art. So that's why I went kind of in the medical field. I always told everybody the eyes are everything. If you can't get the eyes correct, like any kind of painting, and even like my dolls, it it's no good. The eyes have to be the center of everything because that's center of the soul, center of the masterpiece, everything. So yeah, exactly.
What's funny is I did not know that you worked in the medical profession, and I'm a retired nurse. And I have friends that do hospice, and I don't know how they do hospice.
Mm-mm.
I don't do death. I've always worked institutions or I taught nursing school. but death, hands on death until COVID hit was not my thing. Did not do that at all. And yet I work with the dead and can talk to the dead freely. As soon as you die, I gotcha.
Yeah.
But my last experiences were working with people. Whoa, we're working with people who are dying, and that was a whole different kind of trauma. You don't forget that.
You don't, and like I would like in a dementia unit, there would be patients that family never come, and I couldn't let them die alone. So I would like clock out, tell my husband because I worked like the late shift. So I said I'm not going to be home until they pass, and then I would cry. But then when I worked
Hmm.
in the cancer hospital, you had 18-year-olds dying, and I would just come home, and Bill would be like, "You need to quit this job," because I would be like in a mental fog for like a month, and then as soon as I would get over it, it would happen again. And I mentally can't deal with death at all. And I don't know why, because if we do the paranormal, you think we'd be okay with it. But
It's a different, once they've crossed, it's different. It's different.
yeah.
I think the humanity, I think, and we talked about this on my last show with Shade, um, he does the death moriartum art and the different things like that. And we were talking about, to watch somebody die, we attach our own humanity and our own lifespan to that. So we're not only feeling the loss for them and for their family, but we're also thinking about our own deaths, and the fact that it's coming, like we're all, it's inevitable, we're going to die,
Hmm.
which then makes it a whole thing, because we've got our feelings, and then we feel for the patient, we feel for the patient's family, but once they've crossed, that's all done.
Yeah. Because they would sit there and say on their deathbed, they wish they could have done this. They wish they could have done this. And, can I just last a couple more years? I want to do this. And then you sit back and, like, say just on Facebook or whatever, you just hear all this drama going on. It's like, really, people? Like, you have people dying every day saying they wish they could have this back. And here we're
Yes.
here healthy and fine. And we're bitching about this, that, and the other. And it's like, we can, I don't know. I just don't get it, because I guess I've seen it. And like, that's why, I don't care how much how much something is. I'll buy it if I want it. If I want to go on vacation, I can afford it, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to save that money, because I can die tomorrow and never enjoy my life. And that's
And your
how I
kids might
see it.
not get it. I mean, you don't know anymore. Your family may not get it. It may not go the way you want it to go. So
Hmm.
why not?
Exactly. When my grandmom died, we were supposed to get certain things. We didn't get it, but she always
No.
promised us that. But you know what? Did I care? No, this is not going to bring her back. And I'm like, oh, well, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Hi, Barbara. We got people popping on. Hi, George. Hi, Kara. Thank you guys for joining us today. So, of all the different things you do, your full-time job, your dolls, your paranormal, the shows even on the weekend, what's your favorite thing to do?
Um, I would definitely say I do like investigating. I really do. Just like if it's just me, Bill, and me and a couple of just friends go. I do like that. 'Cause I like the history. I like to do the photography, and I like just to sit there and see what we get. I do enjoy that. I don't do it as much as I used to, because we're too busy, which is with other things. And but I do enjoy going into those places, and just relaxing, just sitting there being quiet and see what we get. But that's like one of my number. If I could do anything and constantly do it, it'd be that.
What's your number one go-to for paranormal equipment or skills methods?
Um, I used to really love the ghost box, and anymore it's kind of like, I don't know. I think that's more just things to do lives with people so they can hear it too. Um, I really like the Gansfield experiment. That is kind of like one of my things that I really enjoy, which is the red light and the white noise. Because if they say a scientist made it, and they say if you have any kind of psychic abilities, which I think everybody does at some point, that brings it in tune more. And the stuff that I've seen in my head, and then I speak out and tell people what I see, the homeowners, and I wouldn't do this in a private case. This is just, again, just, as we go there, we pay for a place to go to. I would never do it for a private like home or case, but just see what you get. And I think to me, that's more interesting because it's validation. I'm seeing it. I don't know how I'm seeing it, and they're verifying it. So I do like
Mhm.
that. It's not a machine telling me, it's me seeing it. So I do actually like that.
Right. I recently got myself a pair of the red goggles, and that to me, that's amazing. The red light.
Hmm.
I have seen things that did not come across any. I mean, I have had full sessions where the ghost boxes, none of them have lit. Like I've had multiple sources sitting there going, and there's been no conversation at all. But my head has been tripping. Like I could do full conversations. I can tell you what walked by that I saw in the red light.
Right.
And to me, that is just fascinating because then later we've obtained information that would back that up and verify, but none of the equipment was going off. It was all, right there psychically, which was such a good connection. George says Patty is watching,
Hi, Patty.
and Jonathan's on and says, ask about Enfield House.
Maybe not. What does he want to know
Okay,
about
Jonathan,
Enfield
that's a
House?
okie dokie. Sorry. We all have those stories that we can't share. It's
Well, no,
okay.
it's not that I don't want to share. I just want to know what he wants to know about that
Ah,
location.
Jonathan, be more specific, buddy. Get it out there. And Wade says, "Oh, two of my dear friends. So incredible to hear you both live. Thank you so much for joining us, Wade. Hi."
I love Wade. Oh, he's
Wade
such a
is so
sweetie.
grounding and so dear.
When I'm around him, I just constantly have to. I just want more answers. I constantly pick his brain, and he knows it. I probably give him a migraine by the time I leave, but
I
I just want to know.
don't think he minds. I don't think Wade minds. And not to change the subject, but we're gonna put Wade on the spot since he hopped on. Wade is the kind of person that if you have questions, he treats everybody with the utmost respect and love.
Yes,
Like no
he.
matter what his answer is, he is genuinely loving, and that's just beautiful. Hi, Greg. Your dolls.
Hi guys.
We got a lot of people popping on. Your dolls are so special. Now, I know some of the stuff you use to make your dolls is haunted objects like haunted clocks, haunted parts, correct?
That was only for one doll. Like none of my dolls, I keep them in a separate room, but not that it matters. But they're not haunted. I just get them from, people give them to me, or usually I've been buying them new. But the one doll that I made for George and Patty that are on now, that one, my friend who owns a salon, which before it was a clock shop, and the guy I think died in the house. And she had some of his stuff in the basement. This place is haunted, and she freaks out every time she talks about it when I come get my hair done, whatever. And so the one day she let me in the basement to get the clock parts for this steam. Is it steam?
Steampunk?
Steampunk, thank you. I always say it wrong. They always laugh at me. So yeah, they make that doll. And when we went down there, something got thrown at us. And thank God, I always record everything, no matter what. And I just went down there with my flashlight on, but my phone recording. So it's, of course, it's all over the place. But also, we hear this big bang. I turn around, this thing fell from the ceiling to the ground, and like it was right where I took the parts at. So the guy who
Woo!
yeah, the guy who owned it was not very happy, but I explained to him, like, listen, we left some clocks. This clock was going to be for a friend of mine, and for a doll. I said, I promise you. So it wasn't, the parts weren't haunted, the house was, but this person who lived there was not happy that I was taking his clocks. But I only took a couple, I didn't take a bunch. But yeah, and she goes, she was, that poor woman, she was freaking out. She goes, yeah, I told you this is why I don't come down this damn basement. She was freaking out. But I have that video and I showed it to her. I haven't posted it, but it was kind of funny. But yeah, but that's the only thing I've ever used that was, from a haunted place. Everything else is new, or I would never, like, I would never take one of my haunted items and recreate it. I wouldn't do that because it's haunted for a reason. They stay with it for a reason. I don't want to piss that entity off or whatever, the spirit. they're there for that reason. I respect it and I leave it alone. If they stay in this room, I don't touch them or recreate them.
That's good to know. See, that's very interesting. And go to her webpage because it is an absolutely gorgeous doll. I mean, you nailed steampunk. It's very
Did
pretty.
I? Yeah, because I didn't even know what that was, and they told me, and I was like, and it had to be Mad Hatter too. So she gave me a picture, and then I just recreated from that.
It is absolutely beautiful. I love steampunk. I've done steampunk for years. I started out as a pirate in the Renaissance fairs and graduated through this, the steampunk pirate ship, the flight ship captain with the white shirt and you go into the bustiers and you're doing the steampunk hat with the clock pieces and I love it, absolutely love it. And you just the carnival look with the steampunk is just it was exceptional in that doll. Nailed it. So adventures, you go to shows, um, you are psychic. Do you do readings for people or do you just go do the investigations and I shouldn't say just, you do the investigations and tap in?
I don't think that I'm a psychic at all. Like I don't ever say that I would ever be that. I just that knowing that experiment that we've done, I see things, but I mean, I know things, but and I hear stuff in this room. I hear stuff in my house because my house is, obviously active. But yeah, I wouldn't say I don't see spirits walking by. Couldn't, you know what I mean? Like that's why I have to use equipment because I don't see them. So I wouldn't say that I'm a medium at all. Just when I do that one experiment, that's when it really, I think I block a lot of it,
I
you
was
know.
going to say, I think you're tapping in. I think you're tapping in. You just are blocking.
No, I
Okay.
can't read what anybody writes, just so you know. It's too small for me.
That's okay. I got you. I got you. Jonathan says, are the rumors from Jay true?
But what's the rumors? So that's the thing.
Yeah, Jonathan, come on. Give us more information.
About, yeah, so they're too small. I can barely read them.
Um, let's see. George says your doll is absolutely incredible and will be fully displayed. Wade says, imagine the time when we reunite in the spirit realm, when our pets can talk about their time with us and if communicate about the spirit activity during the time with you.
Aw.
Oh, mine would probably say, even though they were fat, they did not get enough food.
I just wish I spent more time with my other ones. I mean, I did, but I feel like when I did investigations or I went somewhere, I had to be a dog sitter come to
Mhm.
watch them. But the two older ones at the very end, they were really sick. They had cancer. And I was trying to, they had their surgeries and they had all these meds to keep them alive. And I just wish I would have brought them with us. That's why the dog we have now, we rescued a dog not that long ago. He comes with us. So if we can't go, like if we can't take him, we won't go now. So he'll stay in like the hotel or whatever, but he has to come with us or we won't go.
I inherited my son's dog because when he moved in with his girlfriend, she had two dogs, and his dog decided to be the alpha dog and did not get to. She just didn't settle in well with those dogs. And then I have another big dog, and he smells. I mean, he's just one of those fartsy dogs that can smell up a room so fast. But I'm blessed because my son lives around the block from me, and so the kids come over and they pet sit.
Aw.
So it's like when I leave, it's just more fun and more treats and total playtime. 3 and 4 times a day they get to play with the people that used to live in the house with them. So I don't
Aw.
feel bad about leaving my pets because the babysitters are much more fun than I am at this point. And their family too, which really makes it nice. Greg's trying to key Jonathan in and says Enfield House, so I'm not sure what's going on there. We're going to let that one slide until we get more information.
I mean, I
Of all
know
the
what happened with that place, but I need to know what without bringing it up, I want him to tell me what rumors he's talking about, and I'll just answer that question, if that makes sense.
It does totally. Totally. And I know nothing about it, so there you go. I'm in the clear on that one. Of all the places you've been, what is the best place you've investigated?
There's a few. I do, and a lot of people know this. I do love the Conjuring House. It's just the energy, the entity there does not like me. Never liked me from the day when I walked in there. I don't know if it's a girl thing, but they say it is. But when I really don't watch TV. When I mean I don't watch TV, people say, "Did you watch this show?" I'm like, I have never heard of it, and it's something like that's on that everybody would know. I don't even. We have a TV. I don't watch it, and when I'm homesick, it's documentaries like on Netflix. Like I don't even. That's all we have is Netflix. So I probably watched The Conjuring maybe when it first came out, and then how many years later I didn't see it. I went there before anybody else knew it was open, and they, the guy that was caretaker there, he said, "Can you please come up here? Nobody's allowed in because Ghost Adventures was just there, and they have a contract. They can't let anybody in yet." So I went one of the first people that went there, and let me tell you, I was actually scared to where I had my shoes, glasses, everything on, jacket on, to ready to jump out and run out the door. That's how but then we got used to being there, and I guess you got used to that energy and knew it wasn't really going to lift you up and throw you against the wall. So I was better. But the crap that we've had gone there, and people see people talking and thought they were talking to one of the team members, and it was not the team member, they were upstairs sleeping. It blows everybody's mind. So I would definitely say Conjuring would be number one, and then the other one would be Waverly. When I went to Waverly, I was by myself throughout all Waverly. It was
What?
me. Yeah, well, it was me, my friend Shannon. It was her son's birthday, like his 18th birthday. So she went with her kids, and they stayed mostly in the pit, like the death chute, I think they called it. And believe me, I drove 11 hours by myself to go there. My husband had to stay home with the dogs because that's when the one dog really like had one of her bad surgeries. So he stayed home with her, and I just went. And then, and I always say his name wrong, and I'm so sorry. Kalani, he was there because we needed more people, and we asked him, "Hey, do you want to go?" So he was there, but he did his own thing. I did my own thing, and I was by myself. But let me tell you, that place, I was seeing black spirits running by me, and I'm like, whoa, like it was amazing. But I don't know if that's because I was by myself, and they were like, why is this person by themselves and not with a bunch of people? But that was a crazy place. And don't get me wrong, I could go back and I get nothing, but at that time, that one time I went there, it was insane.
Waverly is to me one of it's definitely top on my bucket list. The institutions, the mental institutions and sanatoriums for me, I think because I worked 18 years in forensic mental health, so that's your lockdown, criminally insane mental health units. I worked the children's lockdown, I've worked teenager lockdown, and I've worked adult lockdown, as well as level 5 prisons and institutions. So to me, going in those places, the energy is familiar from the live sense and also from the chaotic sense, and then the trauma sense that is imprinted in the residual energy that's there. And working there were things. I mean, I've worked all the shifts there, and to see the things in live form while the patients were there, to get the privilege of going and seeing the aftermath, because it is a privilege. Very, not everybody can afford to go to those places. Not everybody gets to go to those places. Um, it's definitely it's an adventure, but it's something you will never forget as well.
Right. I mean, I do like Penhurst, and I live right not by Byberry, which is they were kind of together. Like one's in Philly, one's in Springfield. I think it's Springfield. Oh, it's Spring City. That Spring City is Penhurst, and Byberry is in Philly, which is 10 minutes from my house. So Byberry, I was in it one time as a teenager for a haunted house. Like they had like the haunted house, the TV stations. They only had it for a couple of years and they shut it down. But even walking in there, you can just feel. But I always want. They still have a couple of buildings left. I would love to get in there, but they're not gonna let. It's a halfway house now. I don't know why
Hmm.
they made that to a halfway house. Um, but yeah, and we found out recently from being on the one show that was just at my house that the land around here was all Byberry's farm.
Oh
So
my.
yes, I'm always attracted to the prisons and the asylums, but I think it's because I'm in the medical field, and I think they kind of know that. I think
Yeah.
they draw you back there because they know. I think they can see what kind of person you are. I guess you must the energy or just the aura, whatever.
Well, the helping people and the being there when there was traumatic or sick events, death events, and I think they recognize the medical people. Definitely a different energy than the people who were, how do I want to put it, the authority figures, the custody figures that were there. We have a different energy to us. We're more kind. We're more helping. Although, I did the forensic mental health in the 80s, and there were still a lot of things going on that should not have gone on in the 80s. And so I'm also very respectful of that when I go into those places. The first thing I do is ask for forgiveness because I realize that I'll never make enough amends for the things that happened in those institutions.
Right.
Whether I took part in them or not, colleagues did take part in them, and there's definitely a feeling there.
Right.
Definitely. George says hi, or hey William. Um, let's see. Let's see. George says the spirits, I think it was when you were talking about the Conjuring House. George says they didn't like him much either. Wade says, Mary Jo, when you finish creating a doll, do you ever bless it or clear it?
I do spray the holy he gave me a whole huge gallon of holy water a year and a half ago at the one of the Paracons, and I use that, and I have the spray. It's not in this room, it's in my other room, but I have the spray bottle, and I do spray it depending on who it goes to. Couple of them I've actually put medals inside, like, a blessed medal, just in case, because I knew who they were going to. Not for no reason. They weren't like doing anything bad. It's just to protect them.
Hmm.
But yeah, I do that. I do have one doll, which was weird. I had to make it for a team that she had a butterfly. And her name's Brie, and she wanted a butterfly face that matched her logo. Well, let me tell you, I brought that doll down, and my dog started barking at it. I'm like, I thought maybe because it's the butterfly, and he was like newer to us, and I'm thinking he's been there. He was with us for about maybe a month or two. I'm thinking, oh God, I hope this dog's not scared of dolls because this is what I do. But he did not like this doll to where I was leaving dolls all over my house, like big ones, like the nun one that I made for the Warrens Paracon. Just dolls everywhere. So I'm thinking, I can't have my dog be afraid of dolls if I make them. But it was only that doll to where I have videos of him, like literally, as soon as he got to smell it, he would bark at it. And it's weird because as soon as I gave it to her, she was having paranormal problems with it. Like, the thing was getting thrown, from the corner. And I'm like, wow, like, because I didn't have that in my house, but the dog was barking at it. But she was okay with it, and she said she took care of it, and she wasn't sure if it was something from our house or whatever. But it was just weird how my dog would only bark at that doll, and has not barked at any of them since. I mean, he looks at them because I guess they look weird, but yeah, it was insane that But that was the only doll that I know of that I sent out that might have something been with it.
Well, and animals see things weird too, but also remember from the other side. And man, comments are really coming in, and I promise I'll catch everybody up. Animals and small children. If for men who have facial hair and they shave that, or if anything distorts the normal shape of a human, animals and children will react to that. So I wonder if the butterfly coming out from the eyes also, affected the dog. Obviously that has nothing to do with what happened at the lady's house, but you put the
Yeah.
two together and it may have looked strange just because of the butterfly.
And that's what I thought too. So we had to cover that doll up every time I brought it downstairs to do something, because certain things I have to do in the kitchen, and so I bring that doll downstairs. But yeah, because the other ones, I mean, yeah, like the nun, she's crazy looking, and the Exorcist, I've made her, and I'm trying to think if I made anything come out of the face since then. Probably not. That was probably the one doll at that time that when I had him that came out. I had a mold something, but I've made the Saw doll, and that kind of looks weird, but he didn't even bark at that one. So I
That's
don't know.
strange. Yeah. Could have picked something up along the way. Something passed through and
Yeah, I mean, he does
chose
bark at
that
my
vessel.
dining room stuff. He does bark. It's funny. We just took him to my husband's work yesterday, and all of a sudden he just jumped up. Like he was laying down. I was sitting there. My husband was going through his work stuff, and he just jumped up and started barking so loud. I'm like, "What is he barking at? There's nothing over there." He goes, "Oh, that's really funny how he's barking, looking at that place, because that's where the steps that goes upstairs, which I didn't even know there's upstairs, by the way. And steps that go upstairs that everybody swears is haunted up there because they hear things walking up, and it's weird. He's looking right out there and jumps up and
Ooh.
starts barking. So I know he sees it,
Mm-hmm.
or he sees things. Like we go in locations and he won't go in one room. He'll just sit there and bark, and he'll just stare. And we're like, there's nothing in there. And I asked what it was, the lodge, not the lodge, the Rainworth Lodge in Gettysburg. I said, what's up with your kitchen, dude? Like my dog won't even go in there to eat. And he goes, I keep telling everybody to go in that damn kitchen and nobody listens to me. He goes, there's something in that kitchen. Your dog just proved it to me. And I'm like, we're investigating the wrong area of the house. But the dog knew it right away. The dog saw it.
Animals are smart. I have a Maine Coon, and when I bring clients in and work with them and do Reiki, I actually had my cat go after one of the people, and um, it was not a great incident, but it was a very forgiven incident. The cat got really mean and kind of aggressive. I'm just going to say kind of aggressive with the person. And when the person left, by the time the person left, the cat was like bringing him cat toys and stuff, but their energy was crappy. That's why they came to me, and the energy was all over the place. And the cat was just like, I'm not having you come into my play space with crappy energy. I'm gonna hiss and I'm gonna scratch and I'm gonna do things. And I'm like, Ken, why are you doing this? And then he ended up bringing her toys and stuff at the end. But
Aw.
they're smart. They're smart. Wade says Mary Jo is serious when she investigates. Endless energy, I tell you. Red
Aw.
Edge Savage. Cheers, mysteries, makes good sense. Awesome. Living, living in lighting. Nice, pretty ladies. Go Eagles.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not an Eagles fan. I hate to say that I live near Philly, but I do support them. I 110% support them. So I'm glad they won tonight. I really am. I sat there and actually watched. Again, I don't have internet. I was watching on TikTok. Yeah, because I don't have it. So everybody would have it on a live. I would watch it. It would get banned and then I'd watch the next one just so I can see who wins and watch the game.
Who won the Chiefs game? Did the Chiefs win? I was getting ready and trying to get computers up and running, and I missed the end of that one too. So
That is
anybody
awesome.
wants to post that one, that's my team because I live 2 hours from Kansas City. Let's see. Living in lightning. Tell me what is happening to me. I think evil watches me. Would have to give us more details. Living in lightning. Lighting. Sorry. Wade. Julie, the awareness of your soul is your major protector. The vibratory frequency send lower energies away and fear approaching you. I remember this when I met you in the museum during the Gettysburg. Such a high loving frequency I've never forgotten. Oh, Wade, thank you so much. What a kind thing to say. I try. Living in lightning and protecting them. Sometimes our animals will know more and sooner, of course. And animals know when people are sick too.
Oh yeah,
They have that
definitely.
sense of smell. We see that a lot in the medical profession. Yes, Chiefs won, Bills lost. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Had to
so
get
when
that
we
up.
had the cancer hospital, you would smell the cancer. Like you could actually, like people don't get it. Like, what's it smell like? I'm like, it's a smell like you just don't know. Like if you smell burnt flesh, you know what it smells like. You can't explain it. But same thing
Right.
with cancer. But well, I should say when I went to school, I had to work at a nursing home. They had a cat there, and that cat, they said, if that cat stayed in that room for more than a day, that patient was probably going to die within a couple of days. I'm like, and like I didn't back then. This was a long time. I mean, a long time ago. I didn't talk about what I did on the side because people like you had four heads. So I just kind of kept to myself and just watched this cat to see where this cat went. But that was only on clinical, and I only did that like 2 days a week. But I was still trying to watch that cat to see where it went. But it was true. That cat used to, you know, go to places and sit there, and if
Mm-hmm.
it sat there more than a day, that patient did die. It was weird, but they know.
Well, animals too, they're real keen to infections and in changes. People, again, like you said, work in the medical um, area. Heart disease has a smell, diabetes has a smell. Every disease process has a different odor. And when hearts are swollen or they're beating fast, there's a different smell that's given off.
Mm-hmm.
And so animals will notice those things, and that's why they train animals to do everything from sense fainting and seizures and high and low blood sugars and everything else like that. Cats are very attuned too, and people think it's dogs because you don't typically see a lot of medical cats, but there are medical animals out there besides dogs.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Cats are just a little more skittish in public, and people don't tend to bring them out. But there are a lot of different animal choices to be used. They even use rats. Rats are amazing for certain disease processes and sensing different things.
Huh. I think any
So,
kind of, yeah, probably any animal. Just
mhm.
we're not that good. That's all. Not everybody, I
Well,
should say.
I think our emotions get in the way again.
Yeah.
I think we protect and we don't want to think of our loved ones being sick or our loved ones passing away. So it's hard for, especially depending on the kind of what kind of field you're in or what you're used to.
Right.
It's hard. Do you come home after stressful days and have very creative sessions with your dolls? Do you put your energy and your medical frustrations into
And then
the
the
doll
dog.
work?
I do. So it's weird. It's not really my work, like, work during like the day. It's the my personal life. So if I'm having a really bad or, you know, um, what we do, some of us aren't liked. So when I'm really stressed, I will just go in there, and everybody laughs at me when I say this. I just start popping eyes out, tearing hair out. So it gets my stress relief, because you have to take a regular doll. I don't start from scratch. I have to literally take one apart to redo it. So yeah. So when I'm stressed personally, not through work, I go home and work on that. Like today, I have one Megan from the movie, which again I've never watched the movie Megan ever, and I have to do it one day. But I had her done last week, and this week I was just trying to get one done for just to have to hold in case somebody wants it and it's already done and it can be shipped out. But I have a class in a couple of weeks for a Valentine's one, so I was doing those all day today. You know what I mean? So but I'm not stressed. That's just my job on the side. But when I'm really stressed is when I do the real creative, because you just take it apart and redo it again. You know. So work, no. So usually work, it's yeah. I don't. I just need quiet. I like talking on the phone. I won't get on the phone. I won't even text anybody back. I'm just like, yeah, I can't talk to anybody today. I need that quiet.
That's a real hard thing for people to understand. Like I know that there's days I don't text people back. And,
Yeah,
and they're like, hello, hello, hello. No, not hello
yeah.
today.
I don't think people really realize like that I have a full-time job during a day, and then I do the internet, and then and the investigation, and then do clients. There's some days I don't get back to people at all for like a week. And people in here will tell you, George, everybody will tell you, it's because I am so drained. I can't physically, because I know if I start talking, I won't be able to stop, because I feel like I don't want to be disrespectful and say, hey, listen, can't talk to you now. Here's your question,
Mhm.
but I'll talk to you later. But yeah, I'm drained. I'm drained, and I just can't. And I know they think I'm being a snob or being whatever. It's no, I mentally I cannot. You know.
I think that's a big thing. Yeah, we get tired and sometimes it just takes too much energy and you've put out all the energy you can expend.
Yeah, and I just want to sit here and just watch stupid TikTok sometimes, just to, mine are all, it's weird because I have a paranormal TikTok, but all my videos are all music and animals. That's all they are. Every once in a while I'll get like a death one. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to see these. And I keep on hitting like ignore because I don't want to see that stuff. But I just keep on going to the animal and I just sit there and just watch them. I just need that laughter. I keep going. And everybody thinks I'm on. They can see that I'm on. They're like, "Oh, you here?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Nope,
I need
nope.
to. I need to watch cat videos, dog videos.
So, you know that stupid lip sync cat video where the cat sings that little song and it has to go ah pata pata ah pata
Yeah,
pata.
yeah.
I spent 2 days making 4 videos of my cats.
Oh,
It
really?
was like the best time ever. Like I'm like sending them to my husband, like, look at the cat doing this one. The cat's rapping now. The cat's
Oh my
singing this
gosh.
song now. And his little head's going back and forth and his little ears are like tweaking with the music. It's like
Oh,
it was the
great.
best time ever. And like you said, I had people going on like, you're online. Why aren't you answering me? No, I'm making cat videos. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This is
You need me to. You need your time.
It was happy time. It was stress-free happy time.
Yep.
And that's what I needed. Let's see. Cats. Red Edge Savage says cats are very unique, very spiritual in particular. Some shared ways, but specific as well, in my opinion. They also said that nat. Whoa, I can't even talk. That natural sometimes, I think they're just commenting as we were talking. George says very true. Text her and wait 3 days.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm always saying, I'm so sorry. And I always tell why that I'm texting them like three. Sorry, work was heck. And I'm honest. And I'm always saying sorry, but it happens. I'm sure there's probably 30 text messages in my phone right now that people texted me today I haven't even looked at yet because I have to get the dolls done. I had to get ready for this tonight. Like I have stuff, I have like a list
Mhm.
every day that I do. I have to get done before I can do anything else or nothing gets done, you know?
And there's recovery time, and I think the general public does not always understand that when you do investigations, there's recovery time. When you do cleanings like I do, or you're doing Reiki on people, there's a recovery time. I can't work on somebody and then immediately go pick up the phone and talk for 3 hours. I
Right.
don't have that kind of energy. I'm gone. Like I need to replenish. I have to do things for me. And sometimes it is the silly cat videos, but whatever it is. Red Edge Savage says, I like the videos with the cat and the turtle on the mini skateboard. Oh my gosh, those are the best too. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen
The
that one
kid, the
now.
kitty cat has a friend and he's a turtle and the turtle can't keep up with the skateboard. And he's a pretty good sized turtle. And he has a skateboard and he pops up onto the skateboard and then he can keep up with the turtle and he follows the cat and he follows the cat everywhere
Oh, geez. No, I
on
haven't
his
seen that one yet.
skateboard.
I'm
And
sure
he'll
us
go
talking
right
about,
under the cat and the cat looks really annoyed, but they're like best buddies. It's fun.
I'm sure you
It's
talk
great.
about now it's going to pop up my news feed. Never fails.
Now you're going to get to see the kitty cat with his turtle. Carol says, whoops. I love following down the rabbit hole with funny cat videos. You can lose hours with that stuff.
Yes.
I lose hours with TikTok. Um, let's see, Red Edge Savage. They are friends, though the turtle is always following the cat around like a little brother or sister. Um, Greg says, you say sorry because you care.
Oh,
That's
thank
you.
you. I do. I do feel bad that I can't do everything. And that's why I keep saying there's not enough time in the day. And I barely sleep as it is. You know what I mean? And it's just like I always feel bad because I can't do it all. And I want to do it all.
But we're human and we have to have downtime.
Hmm.
And that cuts into the do it all time.
What's funny, I don't do a lot of downtime, but the only time I ever do is when I'm sick. So the one time I was sick, my heart rate was real high, and Shelby, my dog, he noticed it right away, but I couldn't go to work because they couldn't get my heart rate or my blood pressure to calm down. So finally, I had to stay home for a couple of days, and I had no energy to move. I was afraid to do anything. My legs were swollen. It was bad. Well, I sat there and watched on Netflix. Oh God, what was it? Making a Murder, maybe something like that. Whatever that. It was a documentary type of thing. Well, I was sitting there like a deer in headlights because I couldn't physically, I couldn't even hold my phone because my heart rate was so high. But then again, I just got over being sick before the TV show came out, or the filming. And again, I had stuff I had to get done. People had to talk, and I was so sick I couldn't move. And I'm sitting there going in my head, I need to get up, I need to do this, and I couldn't move. So that's the only times I ever can just sit there and just not do a thing is when I'm like really, really sick. Otherwise I'm like, you know what? I'll sleep later. Or I'll do it later. You know what I mean? So that's just
And
me.
then when we actually need it and we're crashing, we get knocked down to be
Yeah,
sick so we can rest.
exactly. Your
I
body
really
only
believe
does so
that.
much. Hmm.
Wade says, "What are your thoughts on, for example, of the ghost cat of the Stanley Hotel? Meaning, why don't they automatically transition as opposed to remaining at the property?"
Like, why does he stay at that place?
Hmm.
Like, why? I'm guessing why he stays there.
Like, why doesn't he transition with his family?
That I wouldn't know because that would be unless he doesn't know he can leave, or it's not really a cat; it's something else claiming to be a cat. I can't read.
He said, "Sorry, this is how my mind works. Such a question. I what are let me go back to that. What are your thoughts for the ghost cat at the Stanley Hotel? Why didn't the cat automatically transition as opposed to remaining at the property?" Well, I mean, so maybe the cat didn't have that great of an attention at the hotel. I mean, maybe his owners were always busy with the hotel, and maybe
Is
the
this is
guests
this
get.
is this the one in New York or is this the one in Colorado? So it's Stanley or Shanley. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I know
I read
it's
it as Stanley. It is Shanley.
Shanley, so that's the New York one. So I've been there
Okay,
many times.
my
But yeah,
bad.
I have seen that cat. But then again, they say that the animals do stay with the owner. So I don't know if that owner is still there. Like I don't know if it's the owner owns it now or the previous that one who's died. But he comes through a lot of the ghost boxes a lot. So that's I'm not sure, but like people say all the time, like they'll hear like I talked to a friend of mine who's a medium, and she goes, "I hear your dog barking in the background." But Shelby wasn't barking. I'm like, no, he's not. He's sleeping. And she says, no, your other dog. So I don't know if they just watch us. Like I believe that they can come back and forth to realms, just like a human
Hmm.
can. So I don't know if that cat just comes around when he knows somebody's there, or it's never left because the owner is there. I don't. I wouldn't know. That's what I would
That's
think
a
is the
good
owner code.
question. Yeah, that's a good question. And then like even whether it was Stanley or Shanley, and I don't know the history of the cats there, but if they weren't getting the attention because the owners were so busy with the hotel, maybe the guests are the people that gave the cat the attention.
Right.
I mean, some cats are just like, hey, somebody new's here. I'm going to rub up against them and love them. And if that's the case, the cat may be happier hanging behind.
Well, I know when I went to the Lizzie Borden house not that long ago, it was in I think April of 2024. They had Max. Max is a black cat. I've actually met him when he was alive. And I have a bunch of pictures with him. He looked really sick when I saw him 3 years prior. So I had pictures. Well, I know he died before we went there in April. And all of a sudden, I felt something rub up against my leg. And I felt like something like it was kneeing on my leg. I remember looking down like, that's weird. Why do I feel like a cat's knee? And all of a sudden, the guide started talking about Max. And I'm like, well, that was weird, but I always would talk about Max every time I saw him, and a lot of the celebrities liked him. And, you just see him walking around. He could care less that we were even there. Like, you have to kind of chase him just to pet him. But the fact that I felt that, and then 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 30 seconds later, she starts talking about him. I'm like, well, that was really weird. So that was him, verifying he's still here. And they actually have like pictures of him and thermal pictures of him. Like after he died, him still being there. But why is he there? Like, is he just because he that's all he knows? You know what I mean? But yeah, he's been there for I think he died. He was like, I think they said 18. He was a
Hmm.
very old cat. But yeah, I know he was there because I felt it. It was just so
Hmm.
weird. And then she started talking about it.
Yeah. So somebody was being funny here, and they said, yeah, it was George. He said maybe because they haven't finished knocking everything off the tables yet.
Probably.
I mean, that would be the cats. Um, Wade says that makes sense. Good answer. Thanks. And it is the Shanley in New York. My bad on that one. A tiny print too. I'm reading on a phone.
Yeah.
Um, which room? Laura. Hi, Laura. Laura's on, and she's. Which room did you stay in? Thanks. I guess when you went, I haven't been to either.
So Shan, I've been there many of times. So I've probably been in almost every single room. We stay in probably every one. Um, yeah. So I think almost every single one we've been in, because like we'll do events there with me and my friend Rachel. We have like we do like she does the makeup, I do the paranormal. So we've done so many things there, but we every time we have a different room. So I think only reason I haven't never had was Kelly's. I mean, at one time they did have Sal's room. Sal was the old owner. We did actually investigate his room a couple times, but I think that one's closed off now. I think either Kelly stays there or so, it just closed off. We don't get to go in that room. But I think I've seen every room except Kelly's, which is the owner of the Shanley now.
Huh. Yeah, I would like to get away from the Midwest and take more trips. My first excursion to the East Coast was Gettysburg. I'm deep in the Midwest, and I go out to Colorado and the Arizona. That's as far west as I've been, and now I can actually say I've been out to Pennsylvania, but I've never been to the coast. I've spent my whole life working until 3 years ago. So when you when you're a nurse and you're working 6 days a week, you don't get too many trips out too many places.
Right, especially
But
that far.
yeah, but now I'm excited because I'm going to get to travel and do my bucket list. So that's good. That's going to be a lot of fun. Wade says, Mary Jo, remember when you met Mrs. Warren's cat? Several times after she passed, she appeared to me. I have even photographed her soul, seen and heard her. She comes and goes, but knows I miss her. I have even photographed her soul.
Aw, Rosebud.
Oh,
So the one time I got invited to the Warrens, to the museum, let me tell you, that was the one thing I've always wanted to do. And the whole paranormal stuff was just go into the museum. But let alone did I not go in a museum, I walked into Lorraine's house. So I literally was sick for a week before I even went in there because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to disrespect these people. I'm like, just my head was like spinning. And so when they invited me in, I knew Wade from Facebook. He made me breakfast, and I was just like, wow, like it was so nice. It was everything. I couldn't believe I was sitting in her kitchen, and all of a sudden Rosebud walks up and smells my feet. So Bill just takes a picture real fast. And that's the only picture I have of Rosebud is the cat sniffing my feet and the weird face that I have. But I don't care because I got to meet her cat,
oh, that's
and
so cool.
I got to pet her cat, and just being in her house. That was probably, and I tell people all the time, the highlight ever for me, because that's just me. Um, but just being in the house, having breakfast with Wade and, Tony and, Dan was also there. And then going into the museum and just walking around to me, it was everything, and then the next time I went, we actually had a same thing, the whole team was there, and then we had a huge bonfire outside. It was so nice. But then Rosebud was passed by then, but it was nice to see her and have a picture with her, even though she was sniffing my feet, because I didn't want to pick her up because she was fragile, and
Hmm.
she was older, like, yeah, obviously, because she was like towards the end of her life. But yeah, just that's the only picture I have, but I do remember her. But the picture that I can only remember is the one, her smelling
Oh,
my
that's
feet.
so sweet, though. What
But
a great
thank
story.
God Bill got that, because I would never have that, because I didn't just whip up my phone because I didn't want to be disrespectful in any way and grab my phone and take pictures because I didn't know if I was allowed to. But he just took it out and took a picture of the cat, me touching the cat, and again, smelled my feet. So,
Oh, and those personal stories are what makes each place we go. You know,
right.
I got the privilege of going out to NOLA. Right, well, it was within a year of the hurricane, and we did some mission work out there and helped with some cleanup and some of the food pantries, and had the fun time of getting to go on some tours and stuff while we were out there too, and did a cemetery tour. and had a cat that showed up and took us from tombstone to tombstone into all the different burial areas. And this cat kind of, this gentleman led the tour, but the cat was kind of the show off during the entire tour. And I'm taking more pictures of the damn cat than I am the tour. And the cat did not show up in my pictures.
Oh,
And my
wow.
son was younger at the time. And, he was like, this is, he kept saying, I think he was like 17. He was legal. Maybe he was 18 because he was legal to drink there. I remember that on the tour, but he kept saying, that's a ghost cat. That's not a real cat. And I'm like,
Hmm.
quit being silly. Quit being silly. I'm taking this pictures because the cat's like doing all these cute things. There was no freaking cat.
Wow.
So we had interacted, we both had seen it and interacted with this cat through the whole cemetery tour. Like we even wandered off from the guided tour to check out what this cat was showing us
Could you
and took
imagine the
pictures.
people on the tour with you? Like, what are they talking to?
I
Like,
know.
like
Well, and then you get home and this was before like the cool cell phones, so you're taking pictures on a camera, right? And you're going back and it's like there's nothing there.
oh, wow.
We
That's
had full
crazy.
conversations. We're meowing with this cat that was not, yeah, I'm sure people thought we were both like, schizophrenic and really weird because we're meowing at this cat and talking to it and there's yeah.
That's probably why the group just left you.
They just
Like,
walked off
just
and left us.
leave
What
it
the
with the
hell are these people doing?
yeah, leave
They're
it with the cat
crazy.
that's not there, right?
Yeah. They're down on the ground and they're petting something and there's nothing there.
Oh, geez.
But I'll always remember it. I'll always remember the
Yeah.
cemetery. I'll always remember the guide. Let's see. Red Edge Savage. Any dogmen accounts from the Midwest? Yes. Um, and there's different chat spaces, so don't worry about it. Supernatural Inc. said, yes, I saw what may have been a dogman on a nature reserve. Let's see. Any thoughts on dream state and astral projection versus travel? Do you have any thoughts on that, Mary Jo?
I know my mom did that a very long time ago. Like I've never done that. But my mom did, and it freaked her out because her cousin showed her how to do it. My mom would even tell me how to do it because she knew early on I was doing, I was into the paranormal, and she's like, "Yeah, don't you ever do it?" Because I remember before I even dated your father, my dad. She said when she was dating him, she's never seen his house, and then she, did this when she went to sleep, and she saw his whole house, his bedroom, and all, and then woke up and then she's like, "Yep, I'm never going to do that again." Because then when she went back to when she met his family, and saw where his room was, she goes, "Yeah, I will never do that again." But her cousin, my second cousin, used to do it all the time. So I
Mm-hmm.
know it's true because my mom never lied about stuff. She's a very, very religious person. Like she hated me even doing the paranormal stuff. It scared her. She didn't hate it, but yeah. So I do believe in it. I have just never done it.
I have done both astral projection and astral travel or dream walking. So when you astral project, you're actually the thought process is that you remain corded. You have a cord that tethers to your soul, if you will, that brings you back your body and your soul. If something were to happen, you would return unless that cord was cut. There are a lot of limitations to astral projection, astral travel, because you are corded, you're tethered. You can go places, but again, there is that connect. When you dream walk, you actually have a set of spirits left behind, or guardians, if you will, to guard your soul, your body, and you leave. And so the rules, as I understand them, or as I was taught to travel, were you take off from the same location each time, you return to the same location each time. You have specific things you take with you each time that you travel. Um, and you make sure that you don't fall asleep during the travel. And so you have to, it's not one of those things where, you're going to lay down to go to sleep at night and decide you're going to take a trip to somebody's house or go do something. Because if you fall asleep, it can be dangerous. I don't know how many of those rules are true or not. I have done both. and gone some serious places. But you're right. If you go visit the places and the people afterwards, it is very awkward.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how do you explain the fact that I've been in your kitchen and your family room and your living room and
And you know what color the carpet is and what your bedspread looks like. Yeah, she was completely freaked out. I remember her just telling me, and I'm like, just the expression. But I do believe, like, I don't dream. Like, I guess I'm one of those weird people. I don't dream. I don't remember dreams. I remember like three of them. And all three of them, I died. And they say you die in a dream, you die in real life. I don't think so because I've died three times. That's the only dreams I really remember. And of course, a couple like you have a dream like your kids, got sick or passed away. I've had a couple of them, but early on, not anytime soon. But I remember
Mhm.
when I was pregnant, I feel like I was being sucked out of my body. And I would see this white light and it would just get real bright and then go dim. And then I would wake up and then I couldn't move for like 2 minutes. And I'm like stuck there on my bed, like, why can't I move? Why can't and I would tell the doctor all the time, that child now is 26 years old. So this was a long time ago. And when I would tell the doctor, they would look at me like I had four heads. And I'm like, what was that? And it would happen all the time, just with that child, not anybody else, just with that child and my daughter. And it would freak me out until one day somebody was on live and I was listening to it and they were saying what it was. And I'm like, your bodies get sucked back in when the baby starts to move or whatever. And you're not fully back in. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, am I doing this when I'm sleeping and not knowing it? So, but I don't remember, again, I don't remember any dreams. I don't remember any, but can we do it? I think we could. I think our souls could go to the other side if we wanted to. I just don't know, because I'd be too afraid I couldn't get back in, or something
Mhm.
here would take my spot. That's what I would be more afraid of.
Well, and there's so many questions to that, and you're getting into a whole different realm, not just your astral projection and your dream state, but people who do psilocybin trips, they're going someplace and they're seeing things that is the same as astral projection or dream walk state. They're going to a greater consciousness. And what's interesting about that is there are millions of people who share the exact same story of what they've seen when they've done that have never connected to any resource together at all.
Hmm.
So, there is a way somehow to travel with our minds to go places and see things. It's documented. To me, it's all fascinating.
Right.
But I'm like you, like I kind of want to make sure that I end up back where I'm supposed to end up, where I started with my
Right.
family and my home.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, maybe some people don't care about that. I kind of care about that. I want to be back where I'm supposed to be at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm afraid. Yeah. Exactly.
I kind of care about that.
Yeah.
Laura says she seems so down to earth. Who owns those artifacts? I'm assuming she's talking about Mrs. Warren.
Yes. Probably. Yes.
The Warren Museum, Wade and the family that her family is taking care of those things.
Yeah. Tony and Judy. Judy is Lorraine's daughter, and Tony is obviously her husband. So, and that Wade, he's the medium for Nesper.
Laura says, "Holy cow!" Red Edge Savage, Supernatural Inc. I asked because it's a subject in the unexplained that I have personal experience with. That's Dogman. Back to the Dogman conversation. Sorry, when you do podcasts, you kind of get like caught up in conversation, then you got to go back and backtrack with. Let's see. I Greg says Beast of Bry Road, South Wisconsin. Supernatural Inc. I have others here who have documentation of the early 1900s on the subject of Dogman. Okay, let's see. Red Edge Savage. It's interesting that I've had a few of my own unexplained experiences, but I've never seen a UFO or shadow beings like my brother. I'm sure some things are shared. But yeah, I'm 53 and my doubts have changed. I'm 62 and I have seen more in the last 3 years than I've ever seen in my lifetime.
I think our realm and everything is changing. I think with all the just the hate and everything, the war. I just think it. spiritual warfare. I really believe it. It's getting worse. And I noticed it getting worse since COVID. Everybody's locked in their house. They're scared, everything. I just feel like it's all getting crazy.
And we've had this talk before, and my husband and I talk about this a lot. I think the fear, like when you go out in public and you see people at shopping centers, you see people at grocery stores, the behavior is extremely fear-based.
Hmm.
You see people almost manic running into each other with carts, not paying attention. They're hurrying up. They're gathering supplies in a way that's frantic.
Right.
And yeah, I think, and that, or they're in their own head, stuck to their phone,
Oh,
not
yep.
even watching anything that's around them.
Right. Like just even like working in the medical field from post COVID, kids would give you eye contact. People would give you eye contact. They would be respectful, put their phone away. Now I'm like, can you, you have to be nice. And it's like, can you put that down like for 10 minutes? Or they're on their computer, their laptop because they're working from home. So, but even that, just their mannerism is totally, they don't care. There's no like compassion anymore, which is weird because you think you'd be more compassionate. You're alive, you made it through COVID, but no, it's totally like, I don't know. It's not the same like it was. Definitely was
No,
not the same.
no compassion, no customer service. No,
No,
no, no, I hate to say no gives a shit, but there are no gives a shit. Like you try to
right?
talk to people and they just don't, I'm not even sure they care if they have a job. I mean, like from some
Yeah.
of the reactions, it's sad. Wade says, such a good show. Feel great tonight. It is a good idea to spiritually protect your astral body, spirit, body, and soul as you sleep and travel at our sleep state. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because things will come in and things will move us. Red Edge Savage, I haven't had an astral type of dream in about 12 years. It kind of freaked me out after coming to the conclusion that it's real. There's a lot of freaky things out there.
Hmm.
Let's see. Carol said, lots of good comments tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining in the conversation. Julie, have you ever had an astral travel experience where you're in two locations at one time while awake? No, I have been at one place at a time. And it freaked me out. I'm not going to lie. There have been times I have purposely experimented with groups and traveled places with other people. I've done full experiments like that were being monitored. I've never gone more than one place. Let's see, that one popped back up. Wade says it's always a good idea to spiritually protect our astral, spiritual, and soul as you sleep. I could talk on for hours about this, just saying. People need to hear it, Wade. Keep talking. Let's see. My comments jumped. Hang on, guys. Sorry. Let's see. Carol said that happened to her this past summer in St. Augustine, Florida. So you went to two places at one time. Wow. That's kind of freaky. Red Edge Savage had to make sure I respect things in dreams just like in waking life. I've entered other people's dreams during my own dream, and it could be an invasion. I'm sorry, invasion of privacy, even if I'm good-willed. Yeah.
Geez, I'm a
Yeah.
very boring person, I guess, because I have never had that. Maybe
But
it's a
no,
good
remember,
thing.
you don't sleep much.
Yeah, I guess I don't get in that deep sleep. Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
don't get in the deep sleep because you're doing stuff. You're busy.
yeah. And if I do sleep, I get woken up. It seems like every morning at 3, 4 o'clock, every single day.
Mm, man, yeah, yeah. I understand that too.
Mm.
Don't text. Don't pick up your phone when you get up. Don't ever pick up your phone when you can't sleep like that. Not good. Um, let's see. George says he lives just south of St. Augustine. Laura says it's tough, a different time for sure. People are being tired of being closed in and out. Miss Katie from Supernatural Inc. says she saw someone who was astral projecting, knew it was human, and not a ghost. That would be a trip. And I can honestly say I've been with people while we did that, but I've never seen somebody pop into my space. So then that makes you wonder if you're doing, I'm just going to throw that out there, doing paranormal investigations, how many people were human that popped into our space that we thought were spirits.
Right.
Boy,
Yeah,
that opens up a whole can.
yeah. Like a lot of, I've heard a lot, because I always like to hear what other people think, because, we don't know, we're not dead, but sometimes it makes sense when people are saying that spirits are actually aliens. And I'm like, why would you think that? And they would go into detail. I'm like, I never even thought about that, because the most haunted places around, usually they have UFO also encounters there. So why is that? Is it one big portal? Is it one, like, why? Like, just why? But so they always, a lot of people say that spirits are really aliens. They're just messing with us, but we don't know. I guess we won't know until we die, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's the thing. We do these experiments and we capture EVPs and we can scientifically measure energy, or we believe we can scientifically measure energy the correct way. But what if we're wrong?
Right.
You know, what if it's a past and future timeline?
Yep.
What if time is not linear?
Exactly.
Opens up a lot of different thoughts there. Where can people get a hold of you, Mary Jo? I've posted your links, but I always like to add that so you have a chance to.
You can at Penn Paranormal. That's on like Facebook. They're all the same. They're all linked together. Or Instagram. I don't really check the Instagram messages much, because I just don't. But Facebook I do, or just my regular Facebook. If it's paranormal related, obviously.
Hmm. Your dolls. Where can people see your dolls?
That's at Twisted Dolls. So on Facebook, it should be linked to my regular Facebook account, but just Twisted Dolls. I think on Instagram there's an underscore in the middle, because I think somebody owned that name. But on Instagram, but yeah, so Twisted Dolls. Make sure you have the S's at the end, because you'll find it. You can't miss it. You'll see a bunch of creepy dolls, So
And you sell these to the public, correct? For those people that are interested in purchasing them.
yeah, I do. I have ones that I make, and then I'm doing special orders. That's like the one with the butterfly, and certain people want certain things, or um they ask me to make something that represents them, or like the steampunk that was for George's wife, because she likes steampunk, and so they showed me a picture, I recreated it. So I like doing that too, because then like Beetlejuice, I have a bunch of Beetlejuice dolls I watch, because I know that movie, and I had my husband 3D print some stuff, and I just put that in it. It's freaky looking, because it's different. Nobody has that, and it has the whole movie in one doll. So yeah,
Ooh,
I like doing stuff like that, because I went to art school. That's what I like to do. It just, so, but yeah, that kind of stuff. I absolutely like making the special order stuff, you know.
that's awesome. That's awesome. What shows do you have coming up soon?
Just the one, which will probably be around Halloween, which is my haunted hometown. So the show came out, we talked about my area. I started working with the historian in our area, which was nice, because she's the one who told me about the Byberry and the land here. So that's the one that we don't know, because they literally just filmed like a week and a half ago. So but they said around Halloween time it should come out. And I think it's Discovery Plus. They have it, always happens in Canada first, and then it comes here. But at the same time it happens in Canada, it also goes into Discovery Plus. So that's probably where it's going to be first. Then like on the Travel Channel on TV.
Okay. Okay. So people tune into that, be watching for that. And what kind of weekend shows, gigs you got coming up? Anything? You traveling around?
Just the Selma Mansion we're doing, and that's for the doll event. Just people, I take a doll and I make it, it's all the same doll, and I make it like white, and I show them how to paint it, put the eyes in, the lash, all that stuff. So they recreate their own crazy, creepy doll, but it's for Valentine's Day. So that got sold out within less than an hour. I mean,
Oh,
as
how
soon as I put it
fabulous.
up, it was gone. I'm like, okay, because I only do 10, because I have to show them how to make it. And the first one, they couldn't put the eyes in, the lashes. I said the eyes and the lashes are the hardest thing possible, and everybody thinks it's easy, and it's not easy. So I had to put everybody's eyes in, so this time I'm putting the eyes in beforehand, because the eyes, and if they want lashes, they can try to put them on, because I'm not doing $10 lashes. They're just
Oh
so
my
hard.
gosh.
They fall off and they get stuck everywhere. So it's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll teach them how to do that one. But so that's on the 8th of February. I am going to be going to Mid Orange County with my friend Barry to help him out, and that is June 28th, I think it is. It's a Saturday. So I do help a lot of people out for events and for charities. And we are going to hopefully go to Waverly this year. And a couple big ones, but we haven't booked them yet. But we do have friends that are going. They want us to go. So, usually in the beginning of the year, I don't really have much, because nobody starts planning until the beginning of the year. Then it gets booked up by the end of the year. There's so many events, you just can't keep up. You know what
Right.
I mean? So far, there's only a couple little that are coming up, but it's going to
Well, and
get
the
booked.
weather. The weather plays a part in that too. Like, no, who wants to make travel plans in January and February? March
Exactly.
March is even iffy. Like my March is booked, but every place I'm going, it should be fine. But you get to to the East Coast and the North, it may not be.
Right. Yeah. Because I did work at um Penhurst for a little bit, and I would go into just watch the private events, but also did public events. I noticed when it's cold out, it just any investigating, when it's cold out, you don't get that much evidence. And if you're outside, just forget about it. I don't know if I believe that energy is cold, like we are, like we don't want to move, we kind of stay still. And I believe
Mhm.
that in the others, the other realm too, as well. Because if it's cold out, I don't feel like we get nothing when we go to those places when it's freezing. Like barely nothing. So I always tell people, if it's not heated, don't even bother wasting your money. Just wait until it's warm for outside. If it's inside of a house, it should be fine. But outside, don't bother.
Well, and that's a great tie-in because I always go back at the end and go over, like, we've got comments posting just nonstop. Wade made the comment way back when we were talking about astral projection. There's a definite difference in vibration of a person, pardon me, whose astral projection and a ghost. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. But the same with cold and warm vibration. You know, cold vibrates very slowly. Heated up things vibrate very quickly.
Right.
So the energy, the frequency of being seen or making a noise is going to be much easier when there's higher vibration. I don't mean higher spiritual vibration, but a faster vibration as
Right.
opposed to a slower vibration. It's going to be easier to make matter move or to be seen when it's faster than it is when it's slower.
Exactly. Like I would like to actually do Waverly in the summer, the dead summer again, and then do it in the winter again later to see how much activity, because it's all outside. And Waverly, you get a lot of like black masses. I mean, I had a black mass run in front of me on a live, but it sucks because the internet sucks so bad in there, because it's all the concrete, that they didn't see it, but I saw, and I ran after it thinking, oh my god, I got it on my phone, because I'm seeing it perfectly clear on my phone. But when I played it back to take it off, it was, I'm like, are you kidding me? So now I make sure I have the live and then a recorder going the same time, so if that ever happens, I catch it. But I just want to see if you see the black masses still running in the summer, but would you still see them in the winter as
Huh.
well?
That would be
That's why I want.
interesting.
Yeah, like I always, like, these stupid little things are always in my head, and half the time I don't tell people, but that's what, because I believe when it's cold, you don't see nothing at all. Like I
Body
will see
cams,
that.
body cam, everything so that you got two different filming.
Yeah, only thing body cams, you move, it shakes, because I have a bunch of them, and I put them and I set them up and just let them record. But
Hmm.
yeah, I used to wear them all the time, and then the hair. All of a sudden, you would hear something, like you would think, "Oh my god, I think I just saw something," and I go back to watch it, and of course, my hair would be right in
It's your
front of it,
hair, or
and it's like,
you're growling, and it's like I hear this growl, and it's like, oh, I ate before I went on my investigation.
Yep, exactly.
Because I'm notorious for like I eat before I go, and I will like get these, and it's like, did you hear that growl? No, I think I burped. I think that was like an inner vibration from the Chinese food or something like that.
Exactly.
Let's see. Most times any people in these dreams were in their own dream state at the same time. Many of these dreams, I was just alone, gliding across the Pacific Ocean.
Hmm.
Wade Kirby, you talked about light workers, and this person told me the same with vibration. Yeah. Um, Carol says, I will definitely let my daughter know about your dolls. She loves them.
Thank
George
you.
says they're really cool. Greg says, great show. Red Edge Savage, I started having those types of dreams around 12. I think it developed partially because of a reoccurring nightmare of falling from the clouds to my death.
Hmm.
Always awoke 5,000 feet up. Whoa.
So when you died, you actually die or you woke up before you hit the ground? That's what I like to know.
Yeah, text in that answer.
Yeah, like I said, I've died 3 times. One time, a big blob came down on me, and I remember just like laying there, and I could feel like my soul leaving. It was just weird, and that was when I was younger. And then 2 times when I was older, I literally got sucked into the ocean and drowned. And I remember this, and I just see my body floating in the water, and I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
and they were both like literally almost exactly the same, but they were like years apart. So that's why I was like, well, and they say you die. I'm like, well, I did it 3 times. And I'm, of course, Googling, what does that mean? What does that mean? They just say
Hmm.
change, your life's going to change is basically what it's telling me. And I'm thinking, it hasn't changed. But so,
Yeah, because they'll tell you death in dreams is rebirth.
yeah,
But maybe it was a past life experience that you were actually reliving.
it's weird because remember I told you about my daughter and the suction like out. That's when Titanic came out. So I was very pregnant with that movie when we watched it at a movie theater and seeing again death, the water. I had I could not sleep and I cried and I couldn't watch that movie for a very long time because just that death scene with the water. And I really believe that I drowned in a boat accident at one time. Like I know that's what
Hmm.
it was. It took
Hmm.
me a while to realize it, but I know, you know, I don't think
Well,
you'd probably be able to get me on a
past
cruise.
I think past lives come back in dream state because we can handle it, the consciousness of it. I think it would be too much if it came back in a full blown memory, but if we're dreaming it, it's easier to maybe process.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because you think about it as a dream. Okay, well, let me look up what this dream means. We go about it more analytical than if it comes back as a full memory.
Right.
It'd be a lot to take in. Carol says, Mary Jo, are you selling dolls at Penhurst Paracon?
I did last year. This year, I'm not. Yeah.
Her
I
daughter
actually didn't.
bought dolls,
Oh, did
so she
she?
may have bought one of your dolls.
Oh, ask her which one. But it's just if you just tell me what it looks like, I'll know. But yeah, I actually was a little short getting that getting a table. So, but it is what it is. It wasn't meant to be.
Nope, nope.
I didn't see that memo, and I'm like, and my husband's like, did you get a table because they're sold out? I'm like, no, I didn't see it, and that was it. But again, it's meant to be. So
That's how I look at it too. If there was something at the show I probably shouldn't have been there with, or yeah, I've got better things coming.
yeah, and there's a
That
couple
didn't.
really good events, Wade, that I just saw the other day. I'm like, huh, I wonder if that's why we didn't get a table. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. Just the Warrens thing. So you know,
It's always been. There's always some better, higher reason. Red
I
Edge
always
says,
have to
after
look.
so many of these falling from the clouds nightmares, I became determined to fly instead of fall eventually.
There you
Oh,
go.
good, neat way of looking at that. Good
Yeah.
turnaround. Carol said, wonderful show tonight. Thank you, Julie and Mary Jo. Thank you, Carol, for always joining us. Wade, a stellar show. Wade, thank you so much for your comments and for being on. That's a mutated heart. Sorry, there we go. Thank you. I'm like going, really, it's
Does
kind
it
of
do
like an
that?
ugly look.
Mine doesn't
Look,
do that. How'd you do it?
I'm not doing it. Miss Katie put it up on hers too.
Oh, okay. I was like, mine's not doing it. It's okay. It's all good.
I don't know how to do that. My producer does all that. I'm
Gotcha.
terrible.
Okay.
You saw what happened at the beginning of the show. Let's see. Love Sundays. Always good to come on. We appreciate you. Red Edge Savage. It became a playground and my imagination could go wild. Yeah. Mind manifesting. You got it. The doll's name is Bethany and she is on a skateboard.
On a skateboard. I didn't. Did she put it on a skateboard, or did it come on the skateboard?
Hmm.
Now I'm trying to
Carol,
think. I mean, I've made a lot of dolls, but I'm thinking, skateboard.
did you purchase that from Twisted Dolls last year at Pennhurst? And was Bethany on a skateboard?
Because we were inside Devon. Because we also have our haunted objects. I have one table for my dolls, and I have one table for the haunted objects. That's why we had to be inside.
She was on the skateboard.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm trying to think, did I do any dolls on a skateboard? They usually do have something. Like they have usually something they hold or whatever.
At Pennhurst.
It'll come to me when we get off of here, probably. You watch. Because I'm like, oh yeah, because I do make a lot of things. I just don't. Sometimes like you make them, and especially closer to the Paracons, you'll try and make dolls so you can bring them there. So
She has an amazing table at the Paracon. Are you doing Gettysburg again this next year?
I don't know. The Warrens aren't going to that the Gettysburg one. They're not doing that. I don't think they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm slow to the East Coast stuff. I'm figuring it out.
It's okay. Yeah. I didn't see anything yet that they, that I know of. I don't know if Wade's still on, but I don't know if they're doing the travel one now. I don't know. I don't know if he's still on or not.
Okay. Wade, if you're on, are you traveling? And I know you guys are doing is it Rock Island Esoteric? I think in Rock Island, Illinois. I think they're going to be there.
Yeah, I think that's the one on May 8th, right? I think that's the one I
Yes.
saw on May 8th. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be at that one. I'm also going to be at Enchanted Metaphysical and Mystic in Conway, Arkansas in March. And the ticker tape is running across this and the Facebook stamp to purchase tickets on that as well. Guys, thank you so much for the show. Mary Jo, thank you so much for being on. I bugged the hell out of you. I appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's been a really nice chat, and a lot of people have gotten involved, and I'm so glad people got to meet you and hear all about everything you're doing, and it's spectacular. I appreciate you staying up late.
Oh, it's okay. I'll be up for a while. I got more stuff I gotta get done.
Because you don't rest. You don't rest.
Right.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you, Mary Jo. Thank you, guests, for being on and for the tremendous interactions. We so appreciate your sponsoring and you guys watching out for us and the great comments. Have a lovely night. Get some sleep. Take care. Be blessed.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Night, guys.